A really ominous photo that was taken by it looks like the American Red Cross. This was around Hickory and Chunky just moments ago. Is now moving into or looking towards the Lauderdale County area where we had some lowering of the clouds. So again, this is something you really want to take seriously. We do have this area of rotation. This is now a tornado warned storm, I should say, excuse me, a tornado warned storm because it is rotating and it is deemed a tornado warned thunderstorm. It has rotation crossing over portions of 494. It is just south of Chamberville and it's moving towards the north and east, roughly at about looks to be 40 miles per hour. So again, we're going to give you a timeline of where this is located, and we're going to kind of see where it's going to go as we kind of extrapolate this. So again, moving roughly at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. We have this tornado warning in place for Lauderdale County. Meridian is not included within this, but if it continues on its path, it could potentially move into the southern tier of Kemper County. So make sure that you are staying weather aware. So again, if you're in the Collinsville area, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place. Right now it's 422. In about 10 minutes, it's going to be headed towards your direction. If you are near the Lebanon school, if you live within that area, again, it's going to be heading towards you. Same deal for Nellyburg. It's going to push your way as we head towards 428. Center Hill, it's going to be towards you at about 430. So you have roughly less than 10 minutes to get to that place of shelter. Again, lowest level of your home, away from windows, a bathroom or a closet. Again, make sure that you are not looking out the window trying to figure out what's happening. You want to make sure that you are basically, again, in that place of shelter. Topton, it's going to be towards you at about 443. Lockhart, it's going to be in your direction by 444, and eventually over towards Meridian NAS. Okay, by about 448, 450. So you have a little time to get to your place of safety, but just make sure that you are definitely getting to that place of safety, because you don't want to allow any time to tarry, so to speak. So go ahead and take action now if you're in the path of this storm. You have meteorologist Tori Alvarado there giving you more updates.
So again, we are tracking out this tornado warning that's currently in effect until 5:15 in Lauderdale County. Now, this does not include Meridian, but it is just to the south of Collinsville. Again, there's that area of rotation that we're watching at the moment, right south of Collinsville, right in between Highway 494 and Highway 19, heading towards that Pie Springs, Bailey area, Obadiah. Well, that's what we're watching at the moment. We're going to get into that street view, talk about some of the streets that are included within this tornado warning. So Jeff Heron Road, Maiden Road, Old Highway 15, so Oak Tibby Dam Road, we are watching that as well. If you live right near the lake, this does include you, so just keep that in mind. Go ahead and get to your safe space. Again, Highway 19, there's Old Highway 19 South, Hamrick Road, that you're included within that tornado warning, so go ahead and get into your safe space, that lower most interior part of your home, moving just a little bit further east. There is Oak Tibby Lake Road again, another road right near the lake. So again, if you live anywhere near the lake, go ahead and get into your safe space, that lower, most interior part of your home. There's Pine Springs Road. Here's Center Hill. There we've got, just moving to a little bit to the east, there's Fellowship Road, Blizzard Road. If you live on Blizzard Road, go ahead and get into your safe space as well. Grissom Road. There's Gumlog Road. If you live anywhere along Gumlog, go ahead and get into your safe space, that lower most interior part of your home, moving just a little bit further east. West Mount Carmel Road, and there's Mount Carmel Road itself. Again, go ahead and get into that safe space, that lower most interior part of your home. Clayton Road, you are included in this tornado warning as well. There's Highway 493 that I just mentioned earlier. You guys are included within that tornado warning if you live just off of Highway 493. Again, go ahead and get into that safe space. And continuing to move a little bit further east, it looks like the polygon is blinking, so that means we may have an update. Deidre, do you see anything with the updates?
It's just continuing. Okay. It continues until 5:15 this morning.
Okay. So there's Daleville. If you live on Highway 39 or right near Daleville, you guys are also included within this tornado warning. Now we're kind of getting into that county line in between Lauderdale County and Kemper County. Now we're in the very southern portion of Kemper County, so right near Tamola, right near Annondale, right near Highway 498 East. If you live near any of those areas that I just mentioned, again, very important that you take this seriously. go ahead and get into that lower, most interior part of your home. That's going to be your safe space, away from windows, away from those exterior walls. And again, here's just a look at that rotation that we're watching currently. Again, this is the northern portion of Lauderdale County, just north of Meridian. That's the rotation that we're watching at the moment. Still a little defined, not as defined as it was earlier, but that's still something that we're watching. We are far away from the radar, so these things can come harder to see, especially being far away from the radar. But there's a look at where Meridian is in comparison to what we're watching as far as that rotation is concerned. About 7 miles spread between the area of rotation and Meridian. So if you're within Meridian city limits, you are not included in this tornado warning. But again, if you live near Collinsville, the Nellyburg area, you are technically included within this tornado warning. Not a bad idea just to ride it out in your safe space for another 15 minutes or so until we see that tornado warning kind of moving further. Now, here's a look at our correlation coefficient. What that is will tell us if we see any debris being lofted into the air via trees being broken, lifted into the air, anything of that nature. We've got a little bit of a brighter orange right here. Nothing that particularly stands out at the moment. Now that, of course, that could change at any given time. So your First Alert Weather team is going to keep watching this. We're going to keep our eye on things, and we're going to stay with you until this tornado warning either expires or gets canceled. For now, of course, still in effect until 5:15 this morning. Got a lot of lightning embedded within these storms. The tornado sirens are going off now here in Meridian as well. But like I said, Meridian, we're not necessarily directly included within that tornado warning. So if you hear the sirens and you're in Meridian, don't panic. We are just watching this tornado warning that is in effect just north of Meridian, about 7 miles north of Meridian. So here's what we're watching currently. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. We've got the tornado warning in effect as well, right near that Collinsville area. And again, pushing through the northern portion of Lauderdale County into that southern portion of Kemper County. Now you can see we mentioned Highway 19. That's kind of right where that rotation is at the moment, pushing towards Highway 493, pushing towards Highway 45 as well, also pushing towards Highway 39. If you live near any of those highways that I just mentioned, Highway 19, Highway 493, Highway 39, or Highway 45, very important that you go ahead and get into your safe space. Again, that's going to be that lower, most interior part of your home, and it's very, very important that when you're heading to that safe space, please have something to protect both your head and your feet. Again, this rotation that we've been watching this rotation for a minute, but now we have this tornado warning in effect as well. We're going to continue to watch that, of course, like I said, until that tornado warning expires or until it gets canceled. But currently, still in effect until, like I said, about 5:15. It's currently 4:28, so we've got another 45-ish minutes roughly with this storm that we're watching at the moment. So again, pushing east through the northern portion of Lauderdale County towards that southern portion of Kemper County. There's all those important highways that I just mentioned. Highway 19 here in Lauderdale County, Highway 493 and 495, Highway 39 and Highway 45. If you live near any of those highways that I just mentioned, very, very important to go ahead and get into your safe space, that lower, most interior part of your home. Now, what we were mentioning earlier, when you're talking about where this storm is heading towards Pine Springs by 4:29, that's within the next minute or so, heading towards Daleville by 4:38 this morning. So Daleville, if you live near that area, you've got about another 10 minutes roughly. So go ahead and get into your safe space, stay there for another 10 to 15 minutes. Lisalia, 4:39 as well, heading towards NAS by 4:45. So if you live at the naval station, you've got about 15 minutes. Go ahead and get into your safe space now. Don't hesitate and just wait until that storm passes over before leaving, and then heading towards Annandale by 4:56. So you've got about 30 minutes there. We're going to swap things over to our chief meteorologist, Deidre McKenzie, now.
All right, thank you, Tori. So again, as Tori mentioned, we do have this tornado warning that's currently active, and it goes until 5:15. We also have on the outer perimeter of that still some really rocky storms, not around that circulation, but again, just somewhat of a volatile setup. So we also have an active severe thunderstorm warning that's in place until 5 o'clock or so. So for the next 30 to 45 minutes, if you're in the northern tier of Lauderdale County, you really want to make sure you're staying weather-minded. And if you are in this tornado-warned polygon, you want to go ahead and get to that safe place. Again, we just gave you an updated look at the timeline here. So if you see your neighborhood, city, make sure that you go ahead and get to that lowest level of your home. You want to be away from windows, bathroom, a closet. You don't want to be looking out the window to see what's happening. It is dark out there. Again, this is before sunrise. It's going to be hard to see anything. And you want to just make sure that you're in a place of safety. So grab the kids, get everyone out to bed, get to the basement, storm shelter, whatever you have if you're in the northern tier of Lauderdale County. Again, we do have Meridian sitting here, so Meridian Metro is not included. Can we go ahead a little bit tighter, Tori, towards the southern tier of the polygon to say who's not within this area in terms of who is not under the gun for this particular warning, and then we'll kind of go up from there to see who actually is. So again, if you're in Meridian, you're not under the warning. Also, if you're around, let's say, the Bonita Lakes area, you're not included. Let's go a little farther north. If you live just north of I-20, though, you do want to be on guard because it looks like that warned area starts to kind of kick in just north of Marion. So if you're in Marion, you're in the clear. It's just north of you. North Hills, if you're on North Hills Street, again, it's just north of there. So from that point, if you live north of North Hills, around 63rd Street, 16th Avenue, you are in the polygon, but actually the area of rotation that we're most concerned about is also north of you. So as we broaden out a bit, just to kind of give folks an updated look at what we're watching in terms of where the rotation is, here it is right here. That's the area of rotation. Nellyburg, I think you're in the clear for now. That's where the rotation is. We still have some strong storms moving through, so you want to stay in your safe place. Collinsville, you're also in the clear for now, but along 493 and then points east of there towards 39 and then eventually towards parts of 45, again, north of Marion, you do sit still under that tornado warned polygon, and you still are in the path of what could be some really dangerous conditions coming your way. Again, we haven't had any confirmations of an active tornado, meaning one that's actually in progress, but we do have a good rotation signature here, and that's all we need to get on here and let you know to get to your safe place, because you don't want to take these things for granted. You want to make sure you're taking it seriously because, again, a tornado can spawn at any moment with this type of setup. So here's an updated view of the timing for when this area of rotation can make it towards, let's say, areas that are downstream. So we're looking at over towards the Naval Air Station by about 4:43. We're going to have it potentially getting over towards Tamala, hope I'm saying that correctly, by 4:52, and over towards Endendale as we head towards 4:55. When we see the blinking polygon, that lets us know that there is an update with the warning. It could be extended, it could be ending early, it could be a lot of different things. So we're going to ask Tori to take a look at the chat just to give us an update.
So still keeping it until 5:15 this morning as far as the tornado warning is concerned. Still moving east at about 40 miles an hour, located near Marion, but not in Marion, of course, but still moving 40 miles an hour.
Any updates, though?
Besides
that?
Still radar indicated no significant updates.
All right, good. So again, we do have this tornado warning in place right now, as mentioned, north of Marion. Here's Marion, north of Meridian. But again, there are many communities within this polygon. So we're going to start where the area of rotation is first, and then we're going to extend that out. We'll give you the overall view. Then we're going to take it down to the neighborhood so you can see which areas are in the path. As mentioned, it's going to be over towards NAS as we head close to that 4:45 time frame. Before then, it could be over towards places like, let's say, Northeast Lauderdale High School. If you live around there, it could get towards you within the next 5 minutes. So you really want to make sure you're getting to your place of safety. So we'll clear this out. We're going to take it down the street level, and we're going to give you all an idea of which neighborhoods are in the path of this. Again, this is a tornado warning. If you're just joining us, you may just now notice that those sirens are going off, or maybe your phone woke you up. We do have an active tornado warning this morning. It goes until 5:15. We're zoomed in on the area where we have the rotation at, and we don't have anything confirmed, but we do have a really distinct rotation. And we've been watching this cell for a while, even as it moved through Newton County, and it looks like now it could potentially spawn a tornado because the rotation has wound up a little bit. So if you're around the Mount Carmel Road area, you definitely want to be in your safe place. You're right in the near zone of where this particular storm could potentially spawn a tornado quickly at a moment's notice. So you want to be in your safe place if you're around the Mount Carmel Road area. Hillview Road, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place. Walker Road, same setup. You want to make sure you're in that lowest level of your home, away from windows, bathroom, closet, get the kids, wake up everybody in the house and get to that place of safety, away from windows, the hallway, interior hallway, bathroom, basement if you have one. And again, just let this blow by before you try to continue to get some rest, because we want to make sure we're taking this warning seriously. Up and down 39, again, north of the Meridian area, you want to make sure you're in your place of safety. Over towards Lazelia Road, make sure you're in that lowest level. Again, make sure the kids have the bicycle helmets on. That definitely helps out. Put on some gym shoes just to make sure that you are prepared just in case a tornado is spawned. You'll have something secure on your feet so that you have to worry about dealing with debris in terms of walking on the barefoot. If you're around the Frederickson Road area, you want to go ahead and be in your place of safety. Same deal as you make your way over towards places like Chip Pickering Road. Let's go ahead and zoom out a bit just to make sure we didn't get miss any updates with where the area of rotation is located. And again, there it is, just now east of 493, east of Obadiah. And if you're around the Bailey area, you should be in the clear for now. That's what we're watching. Not as impressive as it once was, but keep in mind we're now moving farther away from the radar. The radar that is detecting this is out of Jackson, and the farther away you go, we're looking higher in the atmosphere, and it's harder for us to get the distinct indications of rotation that we would like to see, or that we would even notice, I should say, if we were closer to the radar. So it's a little harder to detect the rotation, but we definitely can tell that it is still spinning, and we want to make sure we're in our safe place just in case it does spawn a tornado, because that can happen at any moment. So this warning goes until 5:15. If you're just waking up with us, it's 4:37. We have roughly about 30 minutes or so, a little bit more than that, to track this rotating thunderstorm. Okay, it is moving east northeast roughly at about 40 miles an hour at last check. And again, this could definitely create some issues for anyone within the path, so you want to make sure you're getting to your safe place. Again, thankfully no confirmations of a tornado, but it is rotating, and we want to take that seriously. So I'm going to go ahead and step off screen to see if we have any updates from Tori.
No significant updates. Still the tornado warning moving east at about 40 miles an hour. No blinking yet, but there could be an update at any given moment. Still watching the storm. If you live, again, along, there's an update right there with the radar. We have got still that kind of red green signature that we're watching at the moment, kind of now just east of Highway 39. So a little bit of a shift. Now, if you live near Obadiah, Bailey, Center Hill area, you are kind of now in the clear. I know we're still within that polygon, but that rotation now shifting a little bit further east, like I just mentioned, now right along that Highway 39 corridor. So we're talking about areas like Chapel Road. If you live along Chapel Road, just stay in your safe space for another 10 minutes or so. Pona Hills Road, stay in your safe space for about another 10 minutes or so. Azalea Road, Lost Horse Road, Frederickson Road, we just mentioned that a second ago. Fred Clayton Road, Rabbit Road, and there's the Meridian Naval Air Station. You guys are quickly approaching this rotation as well, so just keep in mind, if you have not already gone to your safe space, take action now. Don't hesitate. We've still got this tornado warning in effect until 5:15. There have not been any signs of canceling it early, so take this seriously. Again, especially if you live right near the Naval Air Station, go ahead and get into your safe space now. Like Deidre was saying, wake the kids up, wake everybody up. Just take it seriously. Go ahead and get into your safe space and stay there until at least 5 o'clock, if not 5:15. Until that warning is expired. So here's a quick updated look at that track and where it's heading. That rotation right near Northeast Lauderdale High School, Lauderville High School, I should say. So again, if you live right near that high school, go ahead and get into your safe space, that lowermost interior part of your home. Heading towards the Naval Air Station by 4:44 this morning. So if you live in the Naval Air Station, you've got about 5 minutes or so. So again, go ahead, head into your safe space, stay there for at least another 10 minutes, if nothing else, and then just stay there until that rotation has passed over. And again, this tornado warning is currently in effect for the northern portion of Lauderdale County and the southern portion of Kemper County. So we've heard the tornado sirens here in Meridian. We've had reports of hearing tornado sirens in Marion. There's Marion down there. It's kind of hard to see. It's at the very, very bottom of the screen. Marion, you are not included within the polygon or within the tornado warning. Here's that rotation again, like I just mentioned, just barely east of Highway 39. So if you live in Marion, again, you're not included. Even here in Meridian, we've heard the sirens at the station not that long ago. Now, again, Meridian is not included in that tornado warning. So that's why you may be hearing the sirens. The tornado warning is close, but again, if you live in Marion or Meridian, you're not included within this polygon. And again, there is that rotation until we're watching that until about 5:15, and then we've got this tornado watch in effect now until 10 a.m. That includes Kemper, Scott, Newton, Lauderdale, Smith, Jasper, and Clark counties. Now, earlier this morning, it was unlikely that our western Alabama counties will be included in a tornado watch. That could change at any given time, so stay tuned to your First Alert Weather Team for updates. But for now, this is current counties that are included within a tornado watch. So now we're going to take it back to the radar. Here's just a look at those storms that are moving across central and eastern Mississippi and into the northern portion of Sumter County within western Alabama. A lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, so that means that these storms are quite strong. And of course, there is that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning that we've been watching for about 30-ish minutes now, and we're going to stay with you for another 30 minutes until this warning is either canceled or expires. So you can kind of see a little bit of purple here right within that radar. So the purple means that that storm very, very intense, very, very strong. And of course, when we swap it over to the velocity, that's where we're still tracking out that rotation. But keep in mind, we are very, very far away from the radar. So when you get farther away from the radar, it does become a little bit harder to see those tornado signatures. So that's just what we're watching at the moment. And of course, continue to stay here with your First Alert Weather Team. We're going to continue to keep you updated on not only this storm, but all of the storms that are moving through central and eastern Mississippi and western Alabama, because we're dealing with storms at the moment, but we'll have another round of stronger storms that'll be moving through later today, and they have the potential to bring another round of severe weather our way. So now here's a look at that velocity. Once again, there's that rotation that we were just talking about earlier, again, just east of Highway 39. In the northern portion of Lauderdale County, kind of pushing east at around 40 miles an hour. That was the last update we saw. Is there any new updates, Deidre, with the tornado warning? No. Okay. So again, moving east at about 40 miles an hour. That was the last update that we got. And there's that rotation again that we were watching right there. So that storm moving very, very quickly. That's why it's important to take action now. Don't hesitate going into that safe space, because this storm moving very, very quickly. There's Lockhart, and we're kind of, again, getting close to the Meridian Naval Air Station. So if you live on base, it's very important that you go ahead and get into your safe space, that lower, most interior part of your home, heading towards areas like Campground Road, Rabbit Road, heading towards John C. Stennis Drive. So if you live on any of those roads that I just mentioned, or if you live near Highway 45, go ahead and get into that safe space, that lower, most interior part of your home. Of course, it's very important to take something to protect not only your head, but your feet as well. And there's a look again at those updated warnings. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5 a.m. this morning, and that tornado warning still in effect until 5:15 this morning. So we've got roughly about another 30 minutes or so, at least, for that tornado warning. We've got another 15 minutes for that severe thunderstorm warning, but of course we're going to stay with you until that tornado warning is either canceled or expired. But for now, very much still in effect. That's still what we're tracking, this area of rotation right here in the northern portion of Lauderdale County, north of Meridian, north of Marion, heading towards areas like the Meridian Naval Air Station. So again, if you live on base, very, very important to get into the lower, most interior part of your home. There is an updated polygon right there, and we've got some blinking as well. So we're going to go ahead and check on the updates and swap things over.
All right, so as Tori checks that out, again, as mentioned, we do have this tornado warning that is currently active, and it goes until 5:15. Again, so if you're in Collinsville, you're no longer under the threat for a possible tornado. Again, that area of rotation is now in the northeastern portions of Lauderdale County. So again, you're in the clear there. We still have an active severe thunderstorm warning, though, for the northern tier of Lauderdale County until 5 a.m. But just the northeastern portion of Lauderdale County and the extreme southeastern portions of Kemper County sit under this tornado warning that will continue for a little while longer. So there's the area of rotation. Again, we're getting farther and farther away from the Jackson radar that is tracking this particular sail here. So that's why I do believe that it's not looking as impressive. Hopefully, though, the storm in and of itself is losing its punch. But regardless, if you're in this polygon, you want to take this seriously. Again, if you are living anywhere between Topton and Tamola, around that 45 corridor, you want to make sure you're in your lowest level, away from windows, bathroom, closet. We'll zoom in to see what communities going forward have to watch out for this. It's sitting right on top of the Rabbit Road area. And if you're east of there, again, it's moving towards your direction. So if you live along the old Lauderdale Lizalia Road location, get to your safe place. Same deal for Clark Road. Also, if you are located, again, anywhere kind of north and east within that Lauderdale County area, you want to make sure you're in that area that's away from windows, preferably a bathroom, a closet, a basement, of course, a storm shelter. Here's 45, so it's approaching that 45 corridor eventually. So you want to make sure that you're definitely, again, in your safe place. Leroy Naylor Road, it's going to push towards you if you can hold together, and also eventually over towards Old Highway 45. 45 north, again, if it can continue kind of showing signs of rotation and kind of holding itself together. So did you see an update when you went to go check out the National Weather Service chat, Tori?
So no updates as far as speed or anything. Still moving east at around 40 miles an hour, but they just mentioned that it is near the Meridian Naval Air Station and moving towards areas like Tamola by 450. So that was really the only
So what you can
things.
do if you want to go ahead and take it to the, kind of zoom out a bit, because this is set to show the radar that it's closest to in terms of the velocity. So if you can shift the whole thing a little farther east, let's see if we can pick up anything from the Birmingham, the National Weather Service site, or even Mobile. See if you can pick that up. Is it shifting? Do you have yours set? Maybe yours is not set to the closest radar. But again, this is what we're watching here. It's that area of rotation, and she just shifted it a bit. That doesn't look too, is that Mobile?
This is Birmingham.
Okay, let's try Mobile.
Okay.
See if we can pick it up a little bit better. Okay, so it still looks like the best view is from Jackson. This is a view from that we recently saw. That was from Mobile. This is a Jackson view. So what we're looking at is different National Weather Service offices. We sit between 3 that kind of monitor parts of our area, and depending on where the storm is located, sometimes you can get a better view in terms of the structure, in terms of what we can see via our velocity signatures and things of that nature, depending on which radar site you're closest to. So for right now, we're still seeing some areas of rotation here. It's being detected from, again, the Jackson radar site. It's far away from Jackson, though, so we're looking higher up in the atmosphere, higher up within the storm. So in the lower levels, I mean, it could be a bit more intense in terms of that area of rotation. So again, if you're in the northeastern portions of Lauderdale County, you still want to make sure you're in your safe place. Let's go ahead and zoom in tighter. This is going to eventually make its way east of the state line, and if it can continue with holding its own, it could potentially strengthen a little farther east as it pushes towards places like, let's say, Sumter County. So we'll be watching this closely. But again, this is what we're watching here. You see this little area of green that's around Rabbit Road. We're waiting on the next update. This is south of Fuller Road, but it's going to be shifting east. There is the Naval Air Station there. It's going to be approaching you all, so hopefully you're already in that place of safety. As we continue on, it's moving basically east around 45 miles per hour. So you want to make sure you're kind of getting to that safe place quickly. Clark Road is going to be approaching your area very soon. So make sure that you are quickly gathering the family up, making sure everyone's getting to that lowest level, away from windows, bathroom, closet. I know it's early in the morning, sun's not out yet, and you hear this loud sound from the sirens and you're trying to figure out what is going on. Hopefully, though, you've been prepared. Hopefully you had your phone with you to get those alerts, because we were expecting the potential for a warning or two to pop up. So unfortunately that has happened. Hopefully we don't have anything manifest in terms of damage, but we do have rotation within this cell that we're tracking. So it's approaching 45, not yet at the Clark Road area, at least as of the last scan, but again, that's a little delayed. So let's go ahead and zoom out a bit and let's see what we're watching. Again, this is the area that we see has a little bit of rotation in terms of the green touching the red, is moving north and east. If you're anywhere south, let's say towards Topton, you are in the clear. This is going to stay more so in the extreme northern portions of the Lauderdale County area, so no Meridian is not within the polygon. Let's go a little bit farther south here and zoom in so I can show some folks who may wonder, are they in the path? And again, if you're down towards places like we talked about Topton, Lockhart, you are not within the area of rotation. That's going to stay north of you, so you're basically in the clear. If you're in the southern tier of Mill Road, you're in the clear. Again, Topton, as mentioned, you also are in the clear. So again, if you're south basically of, let's say, Minnow Bucket Road, you're looking pretty good as well. The southern tier of this polygon, I don't think you're in any danger, but we do have that area of rotation as you make your way to the northeastern portions of Lauderdale County. So broadening the view, giving you the latest update here. We're getting updated scans, and again, it's getting harder and harder to detect where the rotation is. Again, we're in northeastern Lauderdale County, and it's becoming a little bit harder to detect. It will be right about in this area, kind of south of Tamola, if it's even still rotating. There's a possibility the system is weakening and is losing its punch. So again, until the warning is expired, we want you to take this seriously. Again, if you're north across the northern portions of 45 in Lauderdale County. And also if you're in the southeastern tier of the Kemper County area, you want to make sure you're staying in your safe place. This warning goes until 5:15, so we have a little while longer to stick with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the reflectivity, kind of looking at the thunderstorm structure in and of itself in terms of, is there some heavy rain? Do we have a lot of lightning? Turn on your lightning, please. And let's also notice that we do have what is looking to be the potential for some hail. That's what that pink indicates. Okay, we're getting some really intense reflectivity that's kind of bouncing back to the radar, letting us know that we could have some hail within this as well. And we also have some lightning. So this is a loud thunderstorm that's pushing through, and again, it's definitely packing a punch, showing signs of rotation. So we really want to make sure we're taking this seriously in terms of this entire system as it's continuing to kind of make its way east-northeast. It's following a line here. Let's kind of broaden the view. This is not one discrete cell by itself. It's affiliated with quite a few showers and thunderstorms. It's in an environment that has a lot of instability, gathering more wind shear, especially for those areas along I-20. It's just kind of sitting in an area that's favorable for it to, unfortunately, kind of take that turn towards the worst. So we'll be monitoring these storms, and this is only round one. We have a round two that we may encounter out ahead of the actual cold front that's going to come through later on today. Looks like it'll be this afternoon. We'll have the heat of the afternoon helping to spark more instability, more storms, and so we have to watch those as well. So this is round one. We want you to stay weather aware even after these kind of taper off, because we'll have a down period, and then through the afternoon, late morning, 11 a.m., midday or so, we could have another round coming in out ahead of that cold front that's not expected to cross until the afternoon. And I think our threat for maybe some severe storms could linger until about 3 or 4 unless the system speeds up a bit. So, Tori, do you have any updates?
I was asking the Birmingham National Weather Service office if they were planning to extend the warning. They are not. Circulation looks to be weakening, so Sumter County does not have to worry about any tornado warnings. Of course, the storms are still heading your way regardless, so definitely keep in mind you're going to be dealing with heavy rainfall, thunder, lightning, some stronger wind gusts over the next few hours as the storms continue to move through. But as far as the tornado warning is concerned, not any updates about the actual warning. Of course, it's still in effect, and they're keeping that currently in effect until 5:15, but again, the circulation weakening, all that jazz.
Gotcha. So we still want to definitely take this seriously, though, because storms can they can be cyclic. They can recycle up again. So hopefully the trend is weaker, and that kind of follows and maintains itself, that weaker trend, as it continues through Alabama. But again, if this kind of cycles up a bit more, it could possibly re-intensify. Let's hope not, though. It is moving into an environment where we just have to kind of wait and see. We do have some instability kind of creeping north as a warm front lifts north. So for now, we just have some very heavy rain. This is definitely a loud thunderstorm that's pushing towards you if you're in the northeastern portions of Lauderdale County. Again, Tamola, it's going to be heading over towards your way as well. And we still have this tornado warning. So we're going to respect the polygon and making sure that we are in our safe places until this warning has expired. So for right now, we have this tornado warning still in effect until 5:15. It's currently 4:53. This is where the most intense rain is here. And also, we've had some really strong winds on the leading edge of some of these. A lot of those, some of these clusters that have been coming through have been bowing out, which is a good indication that you're going to deal with some really strong winds. So again, this one has a little bit of a bow, but nonetheless, it also has the kidney bean shape. So we have to kind of keep our eyes on that one. If we can zoom in a little bit tighter and just flip it back towards the velocity if you can. Again, it's getting farther from the radar, so a little harder to see, but generally speaking, taking that east-northeast trajectory and gradually crossing over 45. So if we can go a little farther east and maybe a little tighter, let's see what neighborhoods we have that are in the path of this. And as you see, eventually, as we get east of 45, it's going to be over towards the old Highway 45 north part of the roadways here. Leroy, Naylor Road, it's going to be over towards you. And eventually, if it can hold together, it's going to potentially make its way along or even parallel to the Seth Cobb Road area. So if that sounds familiar, if that's your neck of the woods, make sure you're in that lowest level, away from windows, bathroom, closet. Even in the southeastern tier of Kemper County, this could potentially clip you, and then eventually it's going to push into the Sumter County area, again potentially as a weaker cell or a cluster of storms. But regardless, we just have to monitor the setup, because the atmosphere that we're in this morning is not the friendliest, so it could help a thunderstorm ramp up at a moment's notice. So just make sure that you're prepared for that. So the question is on Facebook, is it bad coming to Meridian? Well, as mentioned, we're not dealing with a warning in Meridian. We're going to zoom out a bit just to kind of give you all an overview. Maybe you're just waking up and trying to figure out what's happening. Let's go ahead and turn to the reflectivity as well. And for the most part, just flip it over to the reflectivity, and then we'll get the latest update. But again, this is what we're watching here. We have this severe cell that we're tracking, but as we look at the overall view, a lot of the storms are now north of the I-20 corridor. So if you're in Meridian, looking pretty good. Southern counties so far looking pretty good from this point. But again, we just have to watch as these storms kind of work across the northern tier, especially anywhere from, let's say, Kemper to Sumter County. Go ahead. You had an update?
Yes, we have an updated tornado watch. Neshoba County is no longer included in the tornado watch. And again, the western Alabama counties, so Sumter and Chocolate counties, you guys will also not be included in this tornado watch.
All right, so that's
still
good
in effect
news.
Until 6 a.m. But
so it's not 10 a.m., it's 6 a.m., right?
yes.
Okay, that was a typo that we had.
Yes, and I changed it, and that's where it came up.
Okay, good. We just want to make sure everybody's aware it's not until 10 a.m., it's until 6 a.m.
Yes.
So that's good, but that's not it. Again, we do have a round 2 that could potentially ramp up later today. So just make sure you're staying weather aware, but we still have this active tornado warning in place. And currently it goes until 5:15. So just make sure that you are in your safe place. If you are in that polygon, again, near 45, right where it kind of intersects parts of Kemper County, you need to be in that place of safety, that lowest level, away from windows, bathroom, closet, until we give you the all clear. But the rest of the area, Meridian, Marion, Topton, those locations, anywhere near there as well, you're pretty much good to go in terms of the threat of severe storms. So that's good news. But right now we're still watching this area. As we take a different perspective, you have Tori there who will kind of guide you through. Tori?
So again, we're still tracking out that tornado warning, still in effect until 5:15. As of a couple of moments ago, no significant updates, still moving east at around 40 miles an hour, kind of right near that Highway 45 corridor, pushing east towards the state line, but that warning is not in effect for any parts of western Alabama. So anywhere within Sumter County, kind of near York, Livingston, along that Highway 20 corridor that runs through Sumter County, you guys are not included within any tornado warning, and it's very unlikely that you will be at the moment. And now there's a look at our correlation coefficient, what that tells us if there's any damage from any debris being lofted into the air, such as trees being lofted, branches, anything of that nature. Got a little bit of a brighter spot right here within that polygon. However, we are very, very far away from the radar, so those things can kind of become harder to see when you're so far away from the radar. But there's a little bit of a brighter spot, that brighter orange, brighter yellow, kind of just in the very northeastern corner of Lauderdale County, kind of just south of that Kemper County line. That's what we're tracking at the moment. That's where we've been watching that rotation move through Lauderdale County and kind of pushing towards the southern portion of Kemper County and towards the state line. But again, within Alabama, no tornado warnings in effect at the moment. Now, here's again a little bit of a closer view. That area that we're watching, this is still the Jackson radar?
Yeah.
Okay. So still kind of very, very far away from the radar, kind of hard to tell, but this is the general area that we're watching. Again, still continuing to move east at around 40 miles an hour. So within Tamola, you guys are included in that polygon. It wouldn't hurt to stay in your safe space for another 15 minutes or so. That warning still in effect for another 15 minutes or so. And here's just kind of a look at the reflectivity. We've got some very dark red, maroon, some would say, and so that indicates that this is a very, very strong storm. There's a lot of rainfall, potentially some small hail being dropped from the storm, and so that's why when it's making its way back to the radar, it shows up so bright, because there is a lot of activity within that storm. So here's a look at the hail. Not a lot of impressive large hail, but we've got some smaller purples, which means that there's been a little bit of smaller hail. So when we had this tornado warning issued, it said that there was hail smaller than 3/4 of an inch, so small hail, but enough to be impactful. So keep that in mind as well. We've got this tornado warning in effect, but some small hail as well from this storm that's moving through the northeastern portion of Lauderdale County and into the southern portion of Kemper County. And here is a look at rainfall rates from the storm. Of course, we just mentioned a lot of heavy rainfall being dropped from the storm in particular, almost about 7 inches within an hour. If the storm didn't move, 7 inches of rain will be dumped over this area within 1 hour. So a lot of heavy rainfall, which could lead to some localized flash flooding. So keep that in mind as well. If you're waking up with us this morning, we've got that tornado warning that's still in effect for another 15 minutes. And it's bringing a lot of heavy rainfall. So if you have a morning commute along that Highway 45 corridor, we got a lot of heavy rainfall dumped in a short amount of time. So you just got to be careful when you're out driving on the roads. Of course, you never want to drive over a flooded roadway. And here's just a look at this larger complex of storms that's pushing across the south. This is one of 2 rounds of storms that'll be moving through Mississippi and Alabama today. So this is the first round. So all along a cold front that's going to be pushing across the south. We're going to be dealing with stronger storms later in the day today as well. Those storms also have the potential to become severe. So for Tuesday, we're getting close to the Thanksgiving holidays. Maybe people are traveling early. Keep that in mind. You want to be weather aware today. And maybe if you're trying to travel today, maybe just delaying that travel just a little bit so that you can stay safe, of course, on the roadways. That's one of the most important things. Now, again, here's a look at that tornado warning and that storm that got that tornado warning tag still in effect until 5:15. So roughly another 15 minutes or so. A lot of heavy rainfall from the storm. We're still watching kind of where that area of rotation was. It does look to be weakening, but of course we can't let our guard down. Have to keep our eye on it. We have to keep this. And we have to keep this in our minds. We have to take this seriously because, of course, the storm could drop a tornado at any given moment. So that's what we're watching currently. So, again, still another 15 minutes or so. Is this the Birmingham radar now? I notice it's green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Birmingham radar, just trying to get a better view of this storm since we're kind of in between those 2 radar sites, trying to just swap views, see what can show us the best reflectivity and the best rotation. Still not tracking much rotation at the moment, but if you live along that Seth Cobb Road, Silman Road, Connie Brown Road, Seth Cobb Road, York Road within Mississippi, just go ahead and stay in your safe space for another 15 minutes or so until that tornado warning expires. Now we're kind of moving, is this in the southern portion of Kemper County?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're moving Silman Road, Amondale Road, Delk Road, Pankey Road, C.K. Boyd Road. If you live within any of those roadways that I just mentioned, go ahead and get into the lower, most interior part of your home. Stay there for another 15 minutes or so until that tornado warning does expire. If you live along Mount Herban Road, Mount Herban Church Road, that's what it says, Mount Herban Church Road. If you live along that road, again, C.K. Boyd Road, any of those roadways, go ahead and get into that lower, most interior part of your home. If you live near the Tamola community, go ahead and get into that lower, most interior part of your home as well. Just stay there for another 15 minutes until this tornado warning expires. Again, we're still kind of watching where that area of rotation was, kind of in that northeastern portion of Lauderdale County, pushing kind of right towards that southern portion of Kemper County and close to the state line. But again, no tornado warnings currently in effect for Sumter County, and it's unlikely a tornado warning will be issued for Sumter County at this time. We're going to go ahead and swap things back over to Deidre.
Okay, thank you, Tori. So it looks like they are going to expire this warning, so we'll just wait for the update. I believe it may come soon, but again, we're just going to stick with this until the warning has officially canceled or just ended. But we definitely still have some loud thunderstorms moving over the southern tier of the Kemper County area. Can we switch it to the reflectivity if we can? And also, let's take a look at the broader view to kind of see what we have going on here. So again, this is what we're watching here. Again, the last little bit of this system, this little cluster of storms that has that area of rotation is shifting out of Lauderdale County. Again, much of the county now is in the clear. We have just a little northeastern corner that's left, and also the southeastern portions of Kemper County. As you see, we still have some showers and thunderstorms kind of making its way west, north of I-20 though, back towards Jackson. But if you're south of the I-20 corridor, for right now, you're looking good. And as you see, it looks like all of the alerts have been allowed to expire. Is that the case?
They just canceled it.
Okay, so for the most part, we're looking good now. Hopefully the rest of the storms won't reach severe limits, but that possibility, unfortunately, is there. Once this round 1 moves on by, we have to still keep our weather guards up because we'll have another possible threat for severe weather as the actual cold front comes in later this afternoon. So make sure you keep it tuned to our First Alert Weather Team for updates. Keep your TV tuned to WTOK. Keep your weather alerts turned on via your phone, have your NOAA weather radio, and have multiple ways overall just to get these alerts, because again, I know it's a big travel day as Thanksgiving is approaching, and we want to make sure that you're not driving or traveling in threatening weather. So stay weather minded for today. We'll continue to watch things for you, but we'll go ahead and switch the programming back to the regular programming, and if we get any more severe alerts, we'll be back on to give you the latest.